Real life stories from real life people. The night I learned about soaking, a Tinder date gone hilariously wrong. Online dating is always a gamble. Sometimes you meet someone who shares your interests, has a great sense of humour, and turns out to be even better in person. And then sometimes you end up on a date that you just know will make a great story later. This is one of those stories. I met Jake on Tinder and we hit it off pretty quickly. I thought he was funny and really impressive. But what really drew me to him was our shared love of comedy. We spent days exchanging jokes, discussing our favourite stand up specials, and quoting punchlines back and forth. It was all fun and games, and I was genuinely excited to meet him in person. We decided to keep it low key and agreed that he'd come over to my place to watch a comedy special. He suggested a Dave Chappelle special, which I was totally on board with. I imagined an evening full of laughs, witty banter, and maybe, if things went well, a little more. Little did I know I was about to embark on one of the strangest dates of my life. Things started off odd. Jake arrived, and within the first 5 minutes of the Chappelle special, he paused the TV and asked, "Did you understand that joke?" I laughed awkwardly, thinking it was a one-off. But no, every few minutes he'd pause again, turning to me with a concerned look and asked, "Did you get that one?" I wasn't sure if he was testing my comedy IQ or if he was genuinely believed Dave Chappelle was too complex for me. Either way, I should have seen the red flag waving frantically in my face. But I didn't. I shrugged it off, determined to salvage the evening. We eventually moved on to casual conversations, and because he is in the medical field, he naturally started asking me about my health. Specifically, he asked about my seizure history. It felt a little weird. Who brings up epilepsy on a first date? But I figured he was just being curious, so I shared a bit. Then he did something that, looking back, should have been the final nail in the coffin. He got up, wandered into my bathroom, and started looking through my medicine cabinet. I wasn't even sure how to react as he emerged holding a bottle of my medication and began advising me on what I should be taking. Seriously, who does that? But for some reason, probably because I was clinging to the idea that this date could somehow be redeemed, I let it slide. The night continued to spiral when Jake asked if he could show me some magic tricks. I told him I didn't have a deck of cards, hoping that would be the end of it. But no, he promptly left my apartment to buy some. I sat there half hoping he'd just ghost me, but nope, he came back with a fresh deck of cards and proceeded to show me the most boring magic tricks I've ever seen. I mean, I could see the cards up his sleeve, literally. By this point, I was more entertained by the ridiculousness of the situation than anything Jake was doing intentionally. After the shocking magic show, Jake suggested we go cuddle in bed. I figured, why not? It couldn't get any weirder, right? Oh, how wrong was I? We ended up hooking up, but it was strange, to say the least. Jake inserted himself and then just didn't move for 5 solid minutes. I'm not sure if he thought this was supposed to be some kind of tantric experience or if he was just frozen in awkwardness. But I've never experienced a more uncomfortable 5 minutes in my life. I actually started counting the seconds in my head, just waiting for it to be over. Finally, mercifully, he pulled away and asked with all sincerity, "Did I do good?" I just stared at him, utterly speechless. He then got up, dressed, and before leaving, delivered the final piece. Don't forget to pee or you'll get a UTI. I didn't see Jake again after that. It was only later, when I recounted the bizarre experience to a friend, that she burst out laughing and explained that Jake was literally a Mormon practicing something called soaking. If you haven't heard of it, I'll spare you the details. But to say it involves a lot of not moving, and suddenly the world's most awkward 5 minutes made a lot more sense. So there you have it. The night I learned about soaking and the importance of noticing red flags before you're 5 minutes deep in one of the strangest hookups of your life. If nothing else, at least it makes a great story.